Here we are in the middle of September and I'm considering cutting back this Plumbago auriculata. They're a very vigorous grower. They are also known as the sky flower because often they're grown in conservatories and they grow up towards the sky. It's a good opportunity because of the time of year to also take some semi-ripe cuttings off of this. When cutting this back, it's also worthy of considering the potential it has to provide a lot of new plant material. And at this time of year, late summer, early autumn, the cuttings taken are known as semi-ripe cuttings because all of this growth which has been produced over this current growing season is now starting to ripen off. So you've got soft growth at the tips and then slightly harder growth lower down the stem. And when you're taking a semi-ripe cutting, you want to take a cut from underneath a node on a slightly harder bit of the stem, and then you'll remove the really soft bit of the stem as well. So we'll do that now. And then you find stems that look like they're going to produce nice plants. So this looks really healthy. There's a nice distance in between the nodes. You don't want a stem which is too close in between the nodes or too big in between the nodes. And then you just take that, then pop it in a plastic bag because you don't want it to lose moisture, and as soon as it's removed from the stem, from the main plant, it's going to be losing moisture. That looks pretty nice. So underneath a node, that's reasonably hardened off. I'll pop that there. We'll do the same again here. And I'll just take a couple more and then we'll go to the propagation and we'll pop them up. See, that looks a bit sort of diseased. There we go, that looks nice. Okay, so let's go to the glass houses now. So here we are in the mist house, and I've got my cutting material that I recently took from the Plumbago in the conservatory. So we'll just place them there. Put that down for later. So what we're looking for here is we're going to remove these lower sort of budding bits. Let's tuck that back. You can remove all these leaves. You can just roll them off like that. And then this growth here, this new growth, is still a bit too soft. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut that off above this node here. Oops, my secateurs aren't as tight as sharp as they should be. And what I might do is just make that a bit smaller as well. And in fact, again, that's still a bit too long because we haven't got any roots going on. So there's no water actually coming in from the moisture in the compost. What we seek to do before the plant is rooted is just prevent the plant from losing moisture, which it's doing through the leaves. So you kind of want as little leaf on there as possible, but you want some leaf on there to actually generate new growth in the roots. So that's looking okay. What I might do is just cut that off there, like that, and peel those off. And you can just score it ever so gently, just scrape one side of it just to reveal the active cambium layer, and that's going to trigger rooting. And then we'll place them into a moist plug here, which is underneath the mist system. So even though water is being lost through these leaves, we seek to provide humidity around the leaf, so there's not so much diffusion going on between the atmosphere and the leaf. It's at an equilibrium. And we can do the same with the others. And there we are. So in a few weeks' time, you can just sort of pull them a little bit just to see if there's any rooting, but they should root quite happily in here. So you'll have new plants to pot on and plant out in the garden.